Alrighty, sorry about that. Good call on the sound right there. Not really sure why I didn't play it in the beginning, but anyways, my name is Jonathan reVo. I'm going to be the coach today for the Overwatch Competitive Development Camp. Really appreciate you guys saying that right away, so it made it a lot easier than 5-10 minutes down the road. But anyway, like I said, my name is John, or you can call me Revo, Coach, whatever you want to call me. Essentially, today is going to be more about a quick lesson on kind of everything Overwatch. It's going to be a big basic overview, and then there's a camp in the future that if you go on to do that's a week long, that's going to be like an in-depth thing on the whole entire thing. But let's get started with me, just so you guys know about my background and everything, so you know that I have like the capability and the understanding to be able to coach this game and coach other games. So I played competitive FPS games for the past 7-8 years. I played professionally for 6 of those years. During that time, I was playing a game called Point Blank. It was a competitive 5v5 shooter that I traveled to Turkey, Indonesia, Thailand, Russia, a couple other countries to compete in internationally. It was a great time. Esports has been my passion and my focus for those years. So now going forward, I want to give it back, teach whoever I can, and kind of give an understanding of what I know about it, and kind of show you guys what to do in the in each game and going forward. My teaching style is a little different, and my coaching style is a little different. I try to teach you guys things that you can take from Overwatch and put it into Counter-Strike, put it into Valorant, put it into Fortnite, put it into other games that aren't just one game, because esports are evolving. It's evolving every day, so you want to kind of be ahead of the curve, and the best way to do that is to set a good base, set a good foundation for yourself before you actually decide that this is your game and this is how you're going to do it, because you never know, things change, games change, you might get bored of it, you want to play a different game. So why not use the skills that you're going to learn today and going forward to be able to play any game you want at a high level. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to post them in the chat. I got a little I can read chat right over here on my right, so, or left for you guys. So any questions, whatever, just post them in chat. I'll be able to read them for you. Yeah, like I said, today is really just about a breakdown of what's going to happen for Overwatch and everything. I'll give a quick lesson on things that I've learned and things that are really useful to me in competitive FPS games, especially Overwatch, and show a little bit of gameplay. Going to do that at the end there, play probably 1 or 2 matches. I'll hop into them and show you guys just some quick tips as I'm playing, and then that'll be it for today. It's going to be super quick, super fun. Any questions or anything, just let me know. But let's get this rolling real quick. Going to pull up this so you guys can see it. So like I said, this is Overwatch Camp time. So, lesson 1, the basics. So, like I said before, you really have to build a foundation whenever you're playing an esport title. You can't just go into it and just say, you know what, I can just out aim everyone and I don't need to think about any play I do. You can't do that, especially in Overwatch, because of how much depth there is to the game. I mean, there's so many different, positions you could play, in a sense of each hero has a different role of where they should be on the map in in relation to their team, that it just, the amount of skill ceiling in this game is so high, so you can play it every day and find something new out that you can do better at the game. So in the beginning though, when it comes to hero pool, sorry, I wanted to read chat just real quick to make sure you guys can see it and everything. But anyway, hero pool. So when it comes to what position you play, are you DPS, tank, support, main? Now what I'm asking about this is because if you are, say, a support main, for example, that means that you, at least in my opinion, you should be good with at least 2 to 3 support heroes. It should not just be one. If you are playing this game and everything, you're I'm a support main, I play Anna and I also play soldier, and I'm wait a minute, that is 2 completely different people. And if, say, someone takes your Anna during the game, you can't really switch to soldier, especially now in the game where you lock a position. So you really got to have depth to your hero pool in order to be able to actually change up the comp. Like, what if like you're playing DPS and everything like that, and they are running double shield? You're probably not going to run a hit scan into that, and if the only people you know how to play are Soldier and McCree, it's gonna be very difficult to be able to win that fight and be able to help your team out if you only play people that can hit scan. But just try to, like, if I'm playing the game and everything like that, try to pick 2 to 3 people, like 2 to 3 heroes that you want to learn in your position. So like, I'm a tank main, I want to learn Ryan, Orisa, and then I want to learn dive hero, so I want to learn Diva or Winston, and those are the 3 I want to learn. Or like, you could add in their Sigma, you could add in there's so many different others, but try to pick 2 to 3 that you want to learn, and then just start practicing them. Change it up each game. Try to find the one that fits your playstyle and also fits the team's comp that you're using at that time. Now, when it comes to positioning, it's probably the most important thing in this game that you might not even think about at the time. Because like, when you play Overwatch and everything, like, there's 6 people on each team, so they're everywhere, right? But if you get yourself in a position to be able to, it's all about like advantages and disadvantages in like FPS games and esports in general. So like, you always want to have more advantages than the other person, so you have a higher chance to win the fight. So position wise, if you're close to your support when you're fighting someone, there's a good chance that you're going to win the fight. If you're behind a shield as you're fighting someone, that's another advantage. So you keep like stacking those advantages on top of each other, you'll eventually get to the point where you have, say, like a statistically higher chance of winning that fight, even if you miss more shots than them, just for the sheer fact of you position yourself to where you can get healed and you can get support from your team. With like the other person, they might be out of position trying to chase the kill. Same thing with like, if you're playing this game and everything, the most important, not necessarily position, but necessarily like the most important people on the team are, as far as like winning the fights, are the supports. So if I'm trying to win a fight and it's a 6v6 where it's a team clash going on right now, so like, we're going for the other team supports, because if we kill their Mercy, if we kill their Moria or something, they're going to be down so much healing that all we have to do is win that one fight. Then it's not a heal off constantly to wherever who can heal the other team better type thing. So like, when you guys are like focusing on like where to play in the game and everything, you really have to see where your supports are playing. And if you are a support, you should always be playing with your team or far enough back to not get dove by a Winston, dove by a Diva, or anything like that, or get back or have someone shoot you in the back like Tracer or something like that. It's like really important to, when you're playing this and everything, to position yourself in a spot where your team can see you, you can see your team, and you'll be able to kind of peel off if you need to be able to save yourself. Now, mechanics, like any other FPS game, it's kind of like standard that you have to like practice and have a good understanding of each person you use. So like, your hero, for example, like, do you know how long their cooldown time is? Do you know each of their abilities and when to use them? Do you know what pairs well with another hero's abilities? These are the things you want to know and learn, especially if you're choosing 2 to 3 heroes, because like, if you're doing that and everything, you don't have to think about it mid-game, like, do I have a heal up? Do I have an orb? Because like, I'm getting so used to, say, throwing Moria orbs that like, I throw it and then I have a clock ticking down in my head to where like, oh, okay, I'm ready to go, I can throw another one out. Like, sure, I can see it on the bottom, but if you get that feeling and everything, you get an understanding of like how you're playing that hero, you're going to be able to do that without even thinking about it, and it's really useful. Now, to break down like positions to the to where like there's DPS, tanks, and supports, there's really like a big thing that is like focused on each of them. Now, to like talk about it and everything like that, like DPS, for example, they have a lot more free reign than any other like class on the map or anything, just for the sheer fact that they can get out of fights a lot easier than any other, aside from like if you were a Diva or something, or Winston, you can pop back out. But like, DPS have the ability to push up and then fall back and use their utility to be able to get out of that fight, or use their abilities to be able to get out of that fight. That gives like a DPS player a lot more knowledge they have to learn about the map, because that means they have to figure out exactly where the good positions are on the map to be able to win the fights. It takes a lot of time to get used to and everything, but if you're a DPS player, like, it's not all about it. DPS is not always about sticking with your team, but positioning yourself to where your team can still see you or be able to support you, and you be able to pick off their supports, their other DPS, their tanks, that sort of thing. Now, high ground, like any other game, high ground is extremely important. Reason for high ground being important is the fact that you get to control the pace of the fight. And what I mean by that is I can choose when to fight and when not to. So like if I'm shooting from up here and the person's like down here about to like fire, I just have to fall back and they can't see me anymore. And then I can peek out and then shoot again, then fall back and then shoot. And then you can keep doing that over and over again. So the person on the bottom that's on like the lower ground has to react to what you do. They don't get to act because they can't see you. You get to act on the fight, which is extremely, extremely useful, especially if like you can take advantage of that. Now, me, I've played tanks for most of my Overwatch time. I've played tank supports and DPS, but usually like my role has always been like a tank position. But they really do control where your team's positioned at. And what I mean by that is, if you ever played a game and you have a person playing Reinhardt and they're not pushing up whatsoever, and they're just still holding back in the team, and like you have to have your DPS push up, and you lose because of it. Like the Rhine or like the tanks are the ones creating space for the supports and DPS to be able to move around. It's all about position, you know. So like if a tank is farther back and they're not like holding W or like, you know, moving forward, and they're just sticking right there, all they're doing is just taking a bunch of damage and gaining no ground or advantages to be able to help the team. It really does make a difference though, like how you're positioning yourself, what you're supposed to do, and everything like that. General rule of thumb is you always want to follow behind your tanks, because the tanks are taking all that damage and able to create space for you, so you can be able to like spread apart the map then and be able to like hit them from both sides. Now, like I said before, sports most crucial to have perfect positioning. It's true, because like if you're playing a support and everything, like I said, if you get eliminated, or like someone like if the other team kills you, then you have to wait to respawn, and during that time your team loses half their healing. Or if you have a Zen and a Mercy or a Zen and Moria, like if you're Moria and you die, that's practically all the healing. Zen's not going to be able to take over all of it. So like that sort of thing is really crucial to be able to like win the game. If your supports lose the fight, you lose the fight practically. And if the enemy is going to target your supports, you have to be able to be in a position to be able to help them or be able to take out the enemy before they get there. Now, this is probably like one of the really big things in the game that like I'm like, if you guys wanted to like focus on it and everything, it's awareness. So like this is something that you do subconsciously when you're playing, that you'll have to like consistently practice and get used to. And like I'll just read it word for word and then I'll explain it a little bit more. But the golden rule is always knowing where your team is. Also, we want to make sure we're all communicating with our positioning and what we want to do, cooldowns, etc. So like what I mean by that is like when we're playing and everything, like if I'm staring straight at, like if I'm not doing 360s as a support player, I'm not really helping my team, because then my teammates have to call out when they need heals, and I'm not really like helping them. All I'm doing is staring. Like support players should be the ones always doing like circles around and make sure their teams has enough healing, and the team has to do a really good job at communicating when they need to be healed as well. Same thing with cooldowns and everything, ultimates. So like grab dragon, like Hanzo Zarya. So like when you're actually able to combo and everything, like if Zarya is 10% away from a grab and Hanzo has their dragon, if Hanzo uses like his dragon just to use it type thing, when you could just like have 10% more and be able to grab dragon, it's almost like you're throwing the fight at that point. Like having those combos right there is so important that like you really have to focus on when to be able to use them and letting your teammates know what's coming up. Same thing with cooldowns. If McCree has a stun, that sort of thing. Like during team fights and everything, it's the same thing about knowing when like there's advantage in place and when there's not. So, for example, if we're like in a team fight and everything, and like I said before, the the support gets eliminated in the back. So like our Mercy's down, and now we're 5v6. And then wait a minute, now one of our DPS dies because we couldn't get healed. Now it's a 4v6, but we get a pick. But it was on like an off tank or something, like nothing that's going to be super crucial. Still probably gonna lose that fight. It's better to regain, especially if we're all low and our like last healer is someone that can't really do enough like AoE healing to like make up for the difference. Same thing if like what you're focusing on. So if we're in a fight and I see like my soldier trying to just take on a roadhog, we're not going to win that fight because that's not a good matchup for him. Like that's not how you like. We shouldn't be focusing on that when we have like an out of place Mercy that's just standing right there. You got to focus on like being able to focus on the right targets is huge in this game. So like if I'm playing and then I say, all right, focus this, now focus that. It's all about that because then you have 6 bodies or 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 bodies focusing that one target versus everyone's on like their own 1v1. It's pretty much like if you're playing without comms, it's a 1v1 v1 v1 v1. Like everyone's just playing for themselves at that point. So like making sure you guys don't have any questions. I agree with that. But big thing, guys, like you always like during team fights and everything, there's so many things that go on during it that it's really, really, really important to know when the advantages are in your favor and when it's actually a disadvantage and you got to get out of there. It's not noticeable at all times, but I think it's noticeable enough to where like we have to be ready and willing to be like, okay, we're at a disadvantage right now. It's 4v6. There's no coming back from this fight. Let's get out. Because I mean, this game is all about like the timer too. So like the more time you're wasting having to respawn, that's 40 seconds that you could have used for another fight, or 20 or 30 seconds. So there's so many little things about this game that we really have to kind of nitpick each one and focus on it at different times. So like I said, today it's really about a whole overview of the game and that kind of thing, because if I was to pick one part of it, this could be a 2-hour long session just like on that, whereas like we're condensing this into like 45 minutes type thing. So big overview today. If you guys have any other questions or anything at the end of this, feel free to reach out. Or if you want to do the other camp, there's another camp going on next week. But I'll play some games probably in the next 2 minutes, and that way we can still talk, and I can show you guys a couple things as I'm playing and everything, and we'll kind of go from there. I'll probably talk during the game, so that way you guys are seeing gameplay and also hearing it. So it's going to be a 50-50 on focusing on the game and like talking to you guys at the same time. So wait, so I'm an Nano with Nano. So that's like a big thing. So that's like very situational, but it really depends on where their team is at. If your Rhine goes down, you could still win the fight, but it's all about if any of the other teams low and if you're like trying to nano like a DPS in a good position to be able to get someone. Like if you're like gonna nano just in hopes of like them getting to that good position to be able to win it, it's not worth it. But like it's also about like feelings in this game, like feelings. And what I mean by that is like when I play games and everything, and when I've played for the past 6 years, like at a high level, you start to get feelings in the game. And what I mean by that is like it's game sense, to where like, you know what, I've played a similar scenario. I think this is going to work because I've done this. And you know what, if it doesn't work, that's a learning experience to know, all right, 5v6 once Ryan's down might not win the fight. Full. Ryan got picked by May Reaper for being out of position. Oh, you're going full like focus right here. See, that's the thing. Like, if your Ryan's out of position like that, let's see. Full. Ryan got picked by Ryan got picked by a May Reaper for being out of position. I mean, there's a chance you'll win that fight then. I don't want to say no because I've seen crazier things happen, you know. Like, you could nano and that could be the game-changing situation, and what you did made your team win that fight. Or it cost them 40 seconds that you could have used for something else. Shatter's a really good ult, but it doesn't mean it's necessary to win the fight all the time. So, anyway, guys, let's get some games in. I'll probably play, like, I'd say two or three just quick plays, and then that way we can get things rolling, you know, going forward and everything. Let's see. I'll pull it up for you guys and make sure this is working. And alright, let's make sure that's working then. Nice. Cool. So I'm just hopping into a quick play real quick. I'll play the support just so that way you guys, like, SR is skill rating, but that way I can talk to you guys at the same time and I'm not having to, you know, push with my team and everything, or like get to a point with my team. So this game's already been going on for a bit. 3 minutes left. Team's actually holding pretty well. As you can see, there's already 3 down from the enemy team, so we're in a good position to be able to continue to push up. I'm just on an alt account right now just to see how things are going. But anyway, Moria 2, she has she has healing over time, so you don't really have to, you know, hold this down constantly, because as you can see, it just constantly goes up after that too. Now, like right here, see how out of position we are 2 DPS right now that we can't really do anything about. So we're like, now what do we do in this scenario? Like, we are down, you know, 2 players. We're waiting on our players to come back. Our Torb is kind of super out of position, but I'll do what I can to heal for him. Having a Roadhog though really helps, just for the sheer fact that like he can kind of continue to be healed during this. But at the same time, you know, Roadhog isn't going to last the whole time. And I ran into a mine right there. But anyway, yeah, this level right here, I'm not, this isn't my name. This is just like a fun account to use too. That I actually had a ton of loot boxes on, so I still have a ton. I opened like 30 of them and I still have 11. But it just takes so much time to open them. And as you guys can see right here, our team's already down. We can try to get our Ana out and hope she stays alive. She should be falling further back right now though, because if she gets knocked right here, or like our Sigma gets knocked, we're pretty screwed. Like, our comp right now is okay. Like, they're playing pretty dive heavy. But if we, like, as you can see right here with their Mercy, if we can focus their Mercy right now, we have a really good chance of winning this. Because their Zen's not going to do that much healing, and sometimes that stuff like that is really unfortunate it happens.
There was a flaw in my
But let me see if I can get back into this fight real quick first. I probably didn't need an ult right here, since we were already outnumbers. Didn't mean to press that, but we're fine. I actually really didn't need to press that. But anyway, like right now, I'm obviously like, I don't have like team comms on or anything like that, so I can't really call for my team. But we have about 2 ults up right now. Our Sigma almost has one as well, so if he can get his, it's going to be really, really crucial to win this fight. Like a really big thing in this game too, especially with Moria, is like, I always try to like stress it, is when you're, am I gonna get this? I'm not. Nice, there we go, but you shouldn't really be throwing that many damage orbs out, just because it's not really that, there we go. Unless, like, her healing orb is so useful that when, like, especially when you get into, like, large team fights where everyone's, like, getting, like, melted practically, being able to throw that down and heal your whole entire team at once is huge. Now, like, when I'm playing, say, Moria, for example, and everything, like, you have to also watch out for a nice little widow up here. Now, right here, I really don't need to be doing this. I could just be focusing on healing my team, like a good healer. Especially, like, see right here, if I was just focused up here, not looking at, you know, my Torb, that Torb would have been dead. Because I'm not actually, like, I'm so focused on, you know, just trying to DPS. You'll see that a lot with, like, Moria and everything. You'll see, like, you'll have someone play Moria and all they're going to do is right click because it's easy. But, you know, when that happens, see, now we're kind of in a bad position since we're hacked and they're back capping our point right now. And we're fine. Anyway, so what's up? I probably didn't see your question. We have don't remember. One sec. See, that is very, very bad. That is a very bad situation. And I can't really see anyone else right now. But anyway, sorry, that actually I'll be able to read your question in 1 second actually. Alright. Let me see. Pull it up one more time so I can see your question.
Play of the game.
This will probably take a second to actually grab it, so just give me 1 second. You might have to ask it again. And pull up the chat again.
Triple kill.
Okay, so alright, cool. So this game's gonna I'll queue again, but any question, play Brig please. Okay, yeah, I can hop on Brig. Not the best Brig player, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, any questions, I can see them now, so if I missed it, I'm sorry. I can read it now, so it'll be good. But yeah, we have donuts round 2. SR at Esports Camps. It depends on what account I'm on. Oh no, you're not spamming or anything like that. I've played Diamond, Master, and Plat. It just depends on what season. Like I've early time. It took a while. Like it took a long time for me to be able to understand the game and everything. So it's like for me, like I kind of have grown over time with it and everything. I've tried like different heroes and everything. I thought I was going to be a DPS player. So, you know, when I first started the game, like in season 3 or 4, I was playing in like gold because like I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. But then like I noticed that like my playstyle was more suited to like playing tank and everything. So then I progressed through the ranks because I like found my fit with it. Now,
incoming in 30 seconds.
get out of bronze while playing Mercy. I think so. So, yeah, this actually will work. I think there is a way. Like when you're playing Mercy and everything like that. I played Mercy for a whole entire season because that was just like my favorite hero at the time. But like with Mercy and everything, it's all like, my opinion, it's all about your movement and trying to be as fluid as possible with Mercy. So like you see, like for Mercy, this would be me being able to fly to Anna right now, so I'd be able to like shift over to her or whatever. If you're playing console, then something different, but that sort of thing. So anyway, see right there, it's unfortunate, can't really do much. Yes, I do. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, if you want to play Mercy, definitely, like, you can, you could get really good as Mercy. It's just, like I said, it's all about movement, so, like, being able to fly, and then as soon as you're, like, in mid-flight, you press your jump key, and then you can fly even more. And it gives you, like, an extension on your flight. Now, they're kind of getting staggered right now, unless they... See, our Ryan should not be that far pushed up yet. Like, let him fall back some. Our Anna is has been in like a really good position. Oh, it's unfortunate I didn't get into that. But like Brig is huge about like being able to stun them out of position like that. That Sigma was way too far pushed up. So like being able just to like, you know, like, how do I put it? Trying to focus at the same time. Like being able to just stun them out of like, they're like, oh wow, I'm out of position right now, and then they get stunned. It kind of gives that extra second to be able to like capitalize on their mistake. Not like that, right? Oh, that's good. See, this is actually really good. There's a lot of ults at once right there. So use 3. Now Ryan is getting a little aggressive there. Same. Ryan getting very aggressive as well. And our Ryan is actually doing a lot, so it's really useful. Oh, press the wrong button. Right there, I really had to stun that Genji. I think it was a Lucy. No, I hit the Sigma instead.
This might need a few adjustments.
What happened to the schedule? Let's see. I'm on fire. Let's see. Any questions though? Just let me know. But yeah, Brig, like, it's all about like comboing with her too. So like using her stun, and then like since her swing like will do AOE, it's super useful. This is not good for that Ryan. Very bad for that Ryan. Alright, we'll see. Yep, that's not good. So right here, that is a lot of time stalled right there for us to be able to still get in this fight. Like that stun on top of everything else, huge. But nanoing the Roadhog there, I don't really understand it. Stunning that Ryan was huge. They're backcapping right now though. So here, stun them out of it, and we're good. Now, 6v4. Can't really, I mean, we could hide and get out of position, but I'm not in comms to be able to call that. Their Ryan probably has Shatter. I really needed to hit that. But that's actually okay. Me getting the Ryan there kind of helped our whole entire team not have to get Shatter right at the end. So if we can win this fight, we should be golden, and then there should be just one more team fight left. And also, like, as you're rotating with Brig, always make sure that you're using that left click. So like, or like that stun she has, as you guys can see. Heal bash. Now, pretty solid fight right here. Can't really do much. Good deal.
Victory.
So Brig is like that. Brig was useful that because we had a Rhine that was constantly being aggressive. So being able to be aggressive with the Rhine really helped. I didn't have to like worry about me being the person that had to push up or anything. I was able to, you know, just follow the Rhine all the way up, which was really nice. I think our whole entire team did really well, and I think it was really, really good how everyone played. Like yeah, Ryan, 8 charge kills. He, like what I was talking about earlier about how like tanks really need to create space for the rest of the team. He did that. He really kind of pushed ahead for everyone. What's up? We have donuts. What schedule? You mean the just to make sure. I know what you're talking about. You mean the sample one on there? I gotcha. Okay. So with those schedules and everything, it's like a sample of what like would be about it and everything. It depends on who's coaching it and doing what. Like for each of like, I'll make sure I play Mercy for you guys too. So I'm sorry, as I was saying, yeah, it's depends on the coach and everything. But yeah, like for me personally, I think being able to build the foundation was my coaching style. I think it's really important for us to be able to like find that like fine line first and then be good. See, like Mercy, super good, super mobile. It's all about like Mercy too. Like if none of your team needs healing, give some damage boost. Let them get up there. Really, really useful. The pistol's not that great, but I mean, if you ult with Mercy and you want to be a battle Mercy, and you think you can get a kill, go for it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Now, this is really bad because of how far away our team is right now. Our Sigma's down here, and our soldier's up here, which kind of defeats the purpose of our soldier being up here, or if you want to say our Sigma being down there. Now, see, like you really have to see who needs healing and who doesn't. Mercy is all about constantly switching your healing up to the next person and flying over to whoever needs heals. So like right now, I'm being as mobile as possible. And like tanks too, like they don't have to be full healed. Like if you can get your DPS healed up a little bit more than so they're not one shot, it helps a lot more. A Genji right here, not gonna be able to get him. He's too far pushed up. Kinda the res is not going to happen with that one. Right now, I can still full heal this D.Va. Correct, yep. See, now we're almost at a point where it's going to be really, really important to... I might actually... No, I don't need to ult. See how we're already up 6v4? I definitely don't need to ult here. I could res our soldier, but it's not really necessary. You know what, actually I will, because we staggered their Ryan, but if that Ryan stayed alive long enough, they would have been able to push up right there and pinch us. Ball is coming right here. Yeah. I really don't need to do that here though. It's all about seeing everyone's where. Sorry. That was unfortunate. Genji Blade right there. I personally think I could have positioned myself better to not get in that position. I don't think. See, right now, I don't think we really like this comp. Could work, I guess. It's not the worst comp in the world. I really don't think I actually need to be Mercy right now either. I'll probably, so this fight, I'll Valk so we win it, and then I'll probably switch to Moria. Just to be able to fight the Genji.
Where does it hurt?
And sometimes too, like, you have to make sure you're actually healing the right person. Like right there, it actually didn't get the healing, like, didn't heal the person I wanted. Oh wow. That Rhine, since my sound is so low, I didn't even hear that charge. That's hilarious. It's going to be, our Lucy does not have, let's see. No, we still win this. See right there, we got their Ana. 50% of their healing is gone right now. We'll see if we need it. Yeah, we do. I needed to use that a lot earlier, but it's just a Genji, so we'll be fine. There we go. See, I have time now. The res, like, I didn't want to res right there just in case, so like my team got full healed and everything first. See, like, oops, what is that? I think, like, see how they all healed right there? That's just kind of like understanding on where to throw that orb. That orb, I should never throw to the left. I should have thrown it to the right. That would help the way back. That's unfortunate. Oh, this is bad. I don't want to fight that. Woo. Oh, that's huge. That's actually really big. Alright, there we go. Now, this is the time you can use a damage orb on a Genji, just so you get the kill. Definitely wasn't the cleanest round. Yeah, exactly. The res needs to be safe, and it also has to be worth it. Like right there, it's the same thing with like if you had a scale or something. Like, is the res more important than me healing? If so, then I do it. But it really wasn't at that point, so I shouldn't. So I didn't need to res. This I really don't need to do, but if I can get this fair out first, it's going to be huge. Yeah, that was worth it then. And I am very low. The big thing about being able to play Moria against a Genji, they cannot deflect and they can't do anything when you're holding down to absorb the damage. Or actually do damage to them. Sorry. You're right click. I'm not gonna go through the Genji in time. That's unfortunate. See, me, I didn't need to go save that Genji. That was not worth it whatsoever, and all I did right there is get myself out of position. See where I'm at? Team, I'm not around the team. I'm just kind of like that right there was actually that almost like threw the fight. Our team was pretty low there. I probably didn't need to ult. I actually really didn't need to ult, but did it anyway. Yeah, actually that's good. No, that's fine. If Lucio is able to get his ult, then it would be worth it. We'll see. If he doesn't get his ult, then I probably shouldn't ult it right there. So we'll see. Really, it's gonna depend right here. So let's look at the comp. Genji probably has Blade.
30 seconds.
Orion definitely has Shatter.
My ultimate is targeted.
So we are. Yep, there we go. There it is. I really hope someone goes ball right here because we'll need it. I can play Moria here. I can play BAP. We just need stall, like someone to stall and everything.
No dying on my watch.
Not really gonna do much. Right now, it's about getting to a point. I just kind of waited till the last second to stall. Didn't even matter. But right then, they had better ults than us at the time. They used them better because all they had to do was wipe us once, and then they were able to win that fight. We didn't. We needed to ult first, and we needed to do it quick enough to be able to win that. But yeah, so that was kind of the fight right there. It was a little tough, but it is what it is at that point. I think it could have been way better. I think our team could, if we used our ults right, we probably would have won that fight if we did them earlier. But if I didn't use my, like Moria right there, I should have saved my ult and played in a position to where I could fall back and just heal my team by pressing my ult button and then just shooting it at all of them when Genji bladed and Ryan shattered. That would have been way better. But like when I'm playing this and everything, I'm thinking critically of myself. Because if I'm just like assuming that I'm the best player there and like I did everything right, I'm not learning. I am just going to be continuously stuck in my old ways of how I play the game, and I'm not going to be progressing. I'm just going to be like in a plateau where I'm stuck. So the more I give myself time to be able to learn and adapt and like overcome these things, the better I'll be as a player and the better I'll be as like an individual playing these games too. So that's kind of like the breakdown for the day. I'm gonna like break it down on that note. So as you guys know, this was an Overwatch Competitive Development Camp featuring me. My name's John, or Coach reVo, whatever you want to call me. I'm from Uptime Esports, a training facility on the East Coast, and I am going to be doing camp as well. Uptime Esports and Esports Camps came together, and we're putting together an Overwatch camp June 8th through the 12th if you want to sign up for that. It'll be in the Twitch chat. You guys will be able to see it. But that is like the plan for the day. There'll be a survey at the end if you guys want to do that as well. Like I said, like it's not just development for you guys, it's development for me. So if you have anything that you want to add to that survey to say how we could do this better, send it there. Send it my way, send it our way. I think it's really useful to be able to learn from what we already have done and be able to progress ourselves further. Same thing for esports. It's a building. It's like a game of just continuously building and building and building up to where you can be at a level where you're confident in your playstyle, confident in how you communicate with your team and everything like that. So if you guys have anything else, just let me know. Post in chat, send us a message, and I can get through to you whatever way we need. Not sure if there are any camps in Santa Barbara. I check out the website just to be sure. But yeah, guys, once again, this is John, Coach reVo, and I'll be signing out for the day. Thanks to Uptime Esports, thanks to Esports Camps for putting this on. I think it was really great, and it was nice to talk to you guys, get to know you guys. Like I said, doing another one on June 8th through the 12th. Check it out if you guys want to do it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.